Direct Misfire. Direct Misfire.
Today, Spoon and I play a game of Kings of War. He's playing the currently in beta Empire of Dust list versus my Dwarves. Let's get started.
The Empire of Dust, I decided to run a Pharaoh on a chariot. I ran 2 priests, one on foot, one on horse, an army standard bearer, giant scorpion, a regiment of revenants, a regiment of husks, a horde of swarms, a horde of chariots, a horde of skeleton warriors, a horde of enslaved guardians, 2 regiments of scavengers, and a regiment of, I think they're revenant worm riders. And I ran no magic items throughout my whole list because this was our first game.
Alright, so for my Dwarf 2000 point list, I had a king, 2 warsmiths. I think there was a banner guy in there. Maybe I put him in the unit. I've also got a steel behemoth up the back there. My war machines, 2 cannons, flame cannon and an organ gun. I've also got a large horde of riflemen, a unit of 10 berserkers, biggest regiment you can get with the Iron Guard, the elite dwarves. Also got some shield breakers and just your regular warriors also.
So this is our first game of Kings of War after many games of Warhammer Fantasy Battle that we all dearly loved, and it's gone and dead. We decided to give Kings of War a go. It's the closest thing you'll find to fantasy.
It's the only other one with square bases, isn't it?
There's War Throne by Avatars of War, but it's not very well known at the moment, and not sure how well it's going to do. I haven't read the rules. I've read some of them. Sounds interesting, but I don't think it's going to have as big a community.
Anyway,
as Kings of War. Anyway, this is our first Kings of War battle report. Empire of Dust, which is essentially Tomb Kings versus Dwarves, 2,000 points. We've gone through our army lists, and I guess we'll go through what we thought we'd do in our deployment and first turn.
Now, with just Ben got the first turn, and he deployed. I got the first turn. I don't think either of us had a plan.
No, it was sort of
deploying.
Sort of just give it a crack, put some units on the board,
see how the game works.
Yeah, sort of get the gist of the rules. So no, I don't think either of us really thought too much about army lists. I just took the cool Tomb King stuff.
Yeah, and I just took lists that I knew I had the models for. And just having a look at this deployment here, I know one thing. I didn't like large cavalry in my face, so putting cannons opposite them was a definite go. And I was hoping to get like a flame cannon into a side or close to units, maybe move them up if need be to blast. That was all I was thinking.
Basically, for me, when I put my army list together and deployed, obviously I took the things I wanted. I tried to figure out what was what from the Tomb King book and turned it into the Empire of Dust. For me, I thought the Revenant Worm Riders were a flanking unit, especially at a regiment size. Deployment-wise, I probably did a few stupid things, but
you have a very large army. It's not like you could fit everything where you want to.
That's another thing. When you've got all those horde formations, I believe you would have noticed it with your
with my shield breakers and warriors. I kind of had to end up with one behind the other, but I was just hoping to get one out of the way so the other can move through.
I'm sort of thinking people will probably think, oh wow, big hordes. this is a brilliant idea sort of thing. But once you start putting it all on the table,
It's all about manoeuvring.
yeah, I think people are going to struggle with it at first, and then I think you're going to see maybe 1-2
Yeah.
hordes of normal infantry. You'll probably still see hordes of your monstrous infantry and your cavalry and whatnot, but I don't think you're going to see
Armies of hordes.
Yeah, 5 blocks of
Yep.
hoarded infantry on the table. I may be wrong though. But anyway, I think we'll get into turn 1
Yep.
for the dwarves.
So, being dwarf, there wasn't anything I was going to do like charge ahead. So I just moved a couple of dudes up, mainly those warriors, to try and make some room for the shield breakers behind. I was also a little bit scared of the Empire of Dust. There was a lot of figures there. Wasn't sure what they were going to do. And I was imagining them just running over and smashing everything that I've got. So I kind of kept that Steel Behemoth and the Berserkers together. Behemoth looked pretty tough. Defense 6. Berserkers, they have a lot of attacks. That's about it. So that being my movement, just moving a few dudes up, making some room, we got to magic and shooting, which I don't have any magic of. Sorry.
Before you go into your shooting, I forgot to mention the giant scorpion and the swarms are both vanguarded. So
Okay.
basically, it allows them to. It's very similar to Warhammer Fantasy, and they get a free out the double move.
Yep.
Before the game starts. So yeah, those 2 units vanguarded. Anyway,
Yep.
continue with your shooting.
No, that's fine. One thing I forgot to mention in my army list is I've got the Jar of Windiness on my riflemen, so they get an extra 12-inch range on their standard shooting attacks. So I was hoping sit them in the middle, shoot away, and that's what I did.
It worked quite well.
Yeah, my cannons were nicely accurate, smashed into his worm riders, and I routed them.
I took them off the board. I didn't
First
even
round.
get to move.
That's good.
Which was very disappointing.
He took swarms. They were pretty close, so I shot at them with my rifles. Couldn't get rid of them, but I did make them waver so they couldn't charge, which is a plus.
Which brings us over to Empire of Dust turn 1. So all my units start moving up.
As you'd expect.
As you'd expect. And the beauty of Empire of Dust being undead, majority of them have shambling, which means my little priests can make them surge, which makes them move an inch forward in the magic phase.
Which you kind of need, because they can't, being shambling, they can't march or at the double.
Yeah, yep. Basically, when you cast your magic, you can you roll X amount of dice, and for every 4 up you roll, you move an inch directly forward. So basically, my turn 1, I move up. The giant scorpion charges the berserkers.
Decent speed on that thing.
Yeah, probably helps with the vanguard. Before the game starts as well. He's a tough little unit too from time to time. It depends what you put him up against too. I think, don't you?
Yeah, like that scorpion with a decent defense. And my berserkers didn't have any crushing strength, but we'll get to that in the combat.
Yeah. The Husk Regiment moved, and in the shooting phase gets surged 7 inches. So basically, I forgot to mention in my army list too, most of my units, or those that could, took a unit upgrade, not a magic item. It's called Casket of the Damned. So it adds an extra 5 dice to a one-off use for a surge casting. So
5 dice for a surge.
5 dice for 1 surge, and then you add the major's surge, which is an additional 10.
Okay,
so you're rolling
up to 15.
Up to 15. So you could possibly move 15 inches if
all goes well.
If you roll like a king.
Right. Which is pretty good.
Yeah. Basically, from there, the Skeleton Warriors move up and they surge an additional 9 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to combat, because I don't have any shooting. God knows why I didn't take any shooting. The Scorpion causes 3 damage against the Berserkers, and they act as normal. So, which brings us to Dwarf turn 2.
Yeah, those Berserkers, they don't have a waver value, so you can only route them. So they'll either kill them or they're hanging in. Turn 2, you're getting a bit scared. So I move my Elite Guard just pop them back a little bit. I don't want them being charged straight up. That warrior unit was also in my face, so I'm not sure what I was going to do here. The only thing I could do really is either hold back and shoot or just try and smash him. So I try. It's not going to work, but I try. Berserker's got to charge out Scorpion. There's no other choice.
First game, you just see what the units can put out, I suppose. Yeah.
I didn't want to get the Behemoth in because I liked that breath attack. It sounded good. And Behemoth hitting on 6s using the army build, I think it's version 1, first edition of the rules. It's got a melee value of 6, so...
hitting on 6s and 2 crash up.
No.
Yeah, so it's obviously more of a shooter than...
At this one, yeah, with breath 10, hitting on 4s, why not? Yeah. Sorry, we're just looking at our lists here and the old edition stats.
Oh, this is the beta for the new one. So
yeah, so
must have been running off the old one.
Yeah, the beta has the Steel Behemoth melee value of 5. So from 6 to 5, it's been boosted up in a movement of 4.
Movement 4 doesn't actually have the shooting. Oh, it's got the breath attack. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
You bring that picture up again so I can see what I'm doing. Right, yeah. So after everything's charged or shuffled back or slightly moved about, get to my favourite bit, shooting.
The take it off phase.
Yeah. So, Spoon had his everything come forward, so I retaliate, shooting everything that's close as I could. So the scavengers, the birds, they try and take the what I imagine the replacement of the worm riders by flying up on the flank.
Yeah, I thought that if they got close enough, they'd charge,
and I didn't want that happening.
Yes.
So I shot them. And because I've got a Warsmith nearby, it gives them elite. I get to re-roll 1 miss, which I do with the cannons, and it works well.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're playing that rule right, because I like that rule.
That's another thing too. We may have screwed a few things up in
I'm sure
in our
we did.
first game, so bear with us. The games will get a lot better, and there won't be as much confusion.
No, that's right. It'll become much more clear and concise. But anyway, shoot it at scavengers, and I do a fair amount of damage.
The first one missed. You had the reroll, and you missed that one as well.
Second one hits.
You got 11 shots.
And I routed them.
Yeah, I did 8 damage, 6 roll for the nerve, and...
They've got a pretty low
they're only
route value.
Very small unit, but they don't suffer shambling like the other units.
Handgun and shoot at the swarms again, try and get rid of them. I do 6 more damage.
They go to a total of 10.
So I'm getting close to them. I'm not sure, I can't remember if I routed them at that point or if I had to shoot at them again.
I think there's another 10 where they...
So they're still about, so I
I
haven't
think so. We'll soon
bugged
see.
them off. Flame Cannon shoots at the other scavenger unit, which is getting close to them by the forest. 10 damage, pretty good. Rolled a 7. Get out of there. Okay, and then we have the Iron Guard. Because I've upgraded all the dudes that I could with dogs to sick them on dudes, just a bit of extra shooting. They fire on the husks because they're getting a bit close. Don't do much, only 2 damage. And Behemoth again shoots, and that doesn't really do anything. Pretty weak.
I don't know which hero this one is.
Hero shoots Swarm. Which hero have I
It
got?
must be this one here.
Uh-huh.
It's going to sound really weird on a recording, isn't it? 'Cause
Yeah, it is.
They're not going to know what I'm pointing at.
He's pointing at my king. I must have given him an upgrade to do a spell. Boomstick, that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was
that's
a
what it was.
boomstick.
No, you're right about the route come off the hero, this guy that you just shot, the boomstick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the hero, the king shoots the swarms and then they disappear.
Yep.
So after the rifleman and didn't do it.
Yep. The hero
finished them off just to make sure. And the organ gun shoots the chariot horde, which is coming around the side. I'm kind of worried because they've got a decent charge on them, and then you got Surge. They could go on the flank of the Warriors, all my shield breakers, or maybe even through the forest, but I don't think that would happen.
No. A really cool thing with Surge is you can do your normal movement, and then you can be really tricksy and surge your way into a flank, which is what I was aiming for.
So, yeah, Organ Gun shoots a chariot, do a bunch of wounds, and they just keep acting as normal. Then with combat, I've only got a couple of combats, because, like I said, I don't like combat at the moment. Berserkers hit that Scorpion and don't really do much. 3 damage, and that's it.
We rolled 10 on the nerve, which is quite impressive. But
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
And then there's a big clash in the middle there, the Warriors versus Warriors, and I only do 3 damage. Doesn't really do much, which is a bit of a shame, but anyway, that throws it to Spoon's turn.
So Empire of Dust, turn 2. We get the Husks charging the Iron Guard, I think it is.
Yep.
That's what they're called. The Scaly charges, the Scaly unit charges the Ironclad unit that charged them previously. The Chariots charge the Ironclad in the flank, but in order to do that, I think from memory they had to use their magic to do that. I think it was a surge that got me there.
Yep.
Sorry, this was a couple of weeks ago, so we're sort of trying to remember.
We're straining to remember. We have images, but a few details will be missed.
Yeah. The Scorp charges the Berserkers. Everything else pretty much moves up. The Revenants, they want more, so they surge 10. Closer to the Behemoth.
The Behemoth, yeah.
And I tried to heal the Scaly Horde, but I failed miserably. So basically you can take damage markers off your units. I think the heal value for Empire of Dust for the mages is 4. So you roll 4 dice, and on 4 up you can take a damage marker off, and apparently I can't roll 1 4 up on 4 dice.
Nope.
Now we move to combat, because again I've got no shooting.
See, this seems a bit weak. I mean, I do 3 damage on your skeletons in the fight, and you do 1 damage on my Ironclad in retaliation in your turn. Just like a slap fight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Skeleton Warriors are... Sorry, but they're shit.
Pants.
We'll go through what we think after the game's finished.
But your Chariots hit my flank, so
yeah,
that helps out.
But they're not much better, to be honest. We'll go through that though when we get there. So anyway, we get to combat. The Scorps hit the Berserkers, do 4 hits, 4 damage, and I think at this point I actually remembered a lot of my units have life leech 1. Which, what that means is every time I cause at least a wound in combat, I take a damage marker off my unit that fights.
Which is nice.
Yeah, but I think I forgot previous... Oh, I don't know if I did or not. Maybe we hadn't had much combat beforehand anyway. Anyway, the Scallies hit the Ironclad, and for the... I think there are about 20 attacks. I did all of 1 damage, which... Surprise, surprise, Skeleton Warriors.
Well, the Ironclad, they've got a defense 5, so they're not rubbish.
But I expect more. The Chariots, this is the one I thought would do quite a bit more.
Quarter Chariots in the flank of someone? Yeah.
Chariots are so underwhelming in this game so far. Maybe they're just meant to be a flanking unit and only taking on smallish units. I'm not sure at this point in time, but...
So how much... You 30 from 32 hits... Well, attacks, because you get them in the flank.
Yeah, because you... Oh, here we go. Here's another one for Kings of War newbies, or wanting to learn the game. If you hit a unit in the flank, you double your attacks. If you hit a unit in the rear, in the butt, in the butt?
Triple.
You triple your attacks. So, the Chariots... They have 13 attacks. So, 13
no,
attacks?
They'd have 16.
Oh, 16 attacks, sorry. Yeah, so double it.
To 32.
I got 32 attacks, and I hit with all of 13 of those.
And then only wounded with 5.
And wounded with 5.
So the problem here is that you had to go through that forest to get them in the side.
So
you're
so
going to lose your Thunderous Charge bonus.
Yeah, I lost Thunderous Charge, and...
which would have made a big difference.
Yeah, makes it easier to wound. When you have a hindered charge, basically if you charge through a difficult bit of terrain, or whatever, you lose. It's -1 to hit, which when I think chariots hit on a 4-up from memory.
Yeah, around about that.
Yeah, so they're hitting on, all of a sudden they're 32 attacks hitting on 5s and wounding on 5s. You're not going to get
it's
a great deal
yeah.
out of it. Anyway, the Ironclads pass their nerve test and act as normal. Then we move on to the Husks, which are the unit in the forest.
They are in the forest.
In the forest, and we did screw this part up because I forgot a bit. I think we might have done this combat before the chariots, possibly, because we forgot about the hindered charge. Initially, I thought I'd had the combat of my life, where I actually took a unit off in a turn. But
I mean, it's a good unit.
Yeah, it is. The Husks are great. Take them every day of the week.
But yeah, I don't think we factored in the hindrance.
Yeah. So we re-rolled this one, and I ended up just putting out. I was only 4 damage.
And I think you made them waver.
Yeah, I made the waver. Make the unit waver rather than take him off the board. So Ben put his, what are they called? Iron Guard, is it?
Yes.
Iron Guard back on the board.
Yep.
And we played from there on in. The Scorpion wavered the Berserkers on a roll of 14.
So they're almost over.
Yeah.
They're holding in, only just.
That brings us to Dwarf turn 3.
Righto. So, turn 3. Got this nice juicy looking flank of a chariot horde sitting right there just in front of my shield breakers, which is probably pretty good fight for me. So I give it a go. In the flank.
And Spoony cries.
Drink his tears. It's delicious. Anyway, those Iron Guard, because I've popped them back on, I roll my Headstrong, which is a dwarf rule. 4 up, they're no longer wavered.
Yeah, that is an awesome roll.
So I roll the 4 up, they're no longer wavered.
Before you go any further, I like the fact that dwarves are somewhat similar to the fantasy version, where the units are really, really strong, solid, and it's quite hard to move them.
Yeah, so I've still got a nice bit of flavour there. But we'll discuss what I think of them after the game. Yeah. But anyway, I roll Headstrong for the Berserkers as well, and they're no longer wavered. Hooray! So what do I do from here? My Iron Guard aren't going to charge into those husks. Bugger that. So I think I back them off, just to give them a bit of space. My cannons, after the charge from the shield breaks into the chariot, because that's obvious, and the Ironclad back into the warriors, because why not? I kind of don't want my Behemoth in yet, because of that melee value of 6, so they're just going to breathe on stuff and try and hopefully do some damage. So I'm just going to get to shooting. I need to somehow get rid of those husks. So both cannons shoot at him. Nothing. Because hitting on 5s in the forest 6.
Would have been nice if you had to do that to the Worm Riders.
Maybe.
That would have been marvellous.
Yeah, would have been a different game, I reckon. The Riflemen, the Iron Watch, since there's no swarms, they're going to ping off some wounds on the Revenants. Same with the Behemoth. So both of them shoot at the Revenants. Bunch of hits, only a couple of wounds. 1 from the Behemoth, 3 from the Riflefelders. And the hero uses his boomstick also on those Revenants. Nothing. Also, if you can see right up the top there's a little pharaoh hiding up behind the forest.
He's kicking ass on his chariot.
All by his onesies. I shoot at him. Because why not?
Because he's a jerk.
Flame Cannon, 14 hits, 4 wounds. Organ Gun, same thing, only 2 hits and 2 wounds. So getting there, 6 wounds on the pharaoh by himself. I roll an 8 for his nerve, so I couldn't waver it. War Machines might be in trouble. And then straight into combat with the Berserkers. They hit the Scorpion, 7 hits, only 1 wound because of the flippin' high defense.
Yeah, he's tough. He's a tough nut.
Ironclad, the Warriors there hit Skeleton Warriors, 11 hits, 6 wounds. So starting to rack up the points now. And Shield Breakers, fun times. Because I'm hitting them in the flank as well.
You never want to fight these guys.
I hit them 22 times, and I wound them 18. Because crushing strength is fun.
If Spoonie wasn't crying before, he was certainly crying now.
And then those chariots made a lovely popping noise as they disappeared.
Nah, Empire of Dust is just dust.
Yep. And obviously the Scorpion holds because he's a Scorpion.
Because he's awesome.
Yeah. With nothing else to shoot at or fight, Spoon's got to do his turn 3. Where do we go from here? So Scorpions are dead?
Yeah, my turn 3. Empire of Dust turn 3, sorry. Husks charge the Iron Guard, because they must die.
Yeah, they're on the brink as it is, so why not?
The Scorp obviously charges the Berserkers. Because he should have
Because they're on the brink, so why not?
Yeah, should have killed him the turn before. Revenants charge the Behemoth. That one I don't think I was going to win it very quickly, but because it's got a high
It's defense 6,
yeah,
and
yeah. And I took the Revenants as standard, so I didn't get any crushing strength, so rolling the 6 up to wound was tough. But anyway, the Skellies charge the Ironclad again, because I want to fail at killing them again. The Pharaoh charges the Organ Gun. That was a win. The Enslaved Guardians, these guys are probably close to my favourite unit so far. Probably on par with the Scorpions in the Empire of Dust unit.
they haven't done much so far in the game. We're at turn 3 and they're still sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
But they're getting their time now.
Yeah. I did a surge on the Enslaved Guardians, which created a flank charge on the Ironclad. That's a win. That's a big win. The other mages... so the foot... I think it's the foot mage... Where's my other mage gone? I can't find him on screen.
Be
He's
behind
behind
that.
there.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's cast heal on...
Wait, your foot mage is behind that building.
he's 2. Yeah, one of them cast... Must have been this one that cast the flank and this one that did the heal. So the one on the horse cast heal on the Skelly horde and healed 3 wounds, which is good. The Husks... we've moved on to combat. The Husks hit the Iron Guard. 9 hits, 4 wounds. Scorpion hits the Berserkers, hits him 4 times, wounds him 4 times, because he's a beast. Revenants hit the Behemoth 9 times, and
Do nothing.
0 wounds. And the Enslaved Guardians, because they hit him in the flank, they double their attacks. I think from memory...
They'd have about 18.
I think they're 18 attacks, so they go
It
to...
looks like most Horde large infantry have 18 attacks.
Yeah. So they double it up to 36 attacks, and I hit 12 times, which wasn't very good, and I only did 6 wounds, which was even worse. That's my dice rolling for you. And the Pharaoh, I'm pretty sure smacked the War Machine in the next week.
5 times, 5 wounds.
Yeah, nerve test. What do we got? So the Iron Guard become wavered on a roll of 7. The Scorpion rouse the Berserkers, finally. On a roll, well, I can't remember what the roll was, but we ended up on 16 as your nerve test. The Behemoth acts as normal. Maybe I didn't kill the Organ Gun.
Not yet. You made them waver and they kind of run off a bit in my turn.
Yeah. Alright. So that's the end of Empire of Dust turn 3. So we move on to Dwarf turn 4.
Okay, so he hasn't really gotten rid of anything yet. I got to pass my Headstrong so they can do stuff, because there's so many units that are wavered. So the Ironclad, the Warriors, they pass. Hooray! And then they, what do they charge? The Skellies. Got to get rid of them. Shield Breakers, they charge a Pharaoh, because after smashing the chariots, they turn around and see what else has got a chariot. Pharaoh does. Let's give that one a go then, eh? And then is that it? Is that all I charge?
I think so.
I think the Iron Guard down the bottom there with the husks, they're never going to win that combat, so they're just sitting pretty. They're just trying to delay them as much as they can. I was worried about that Scorpion though, but then again those husks could finish off the Iron Guard. I was hoping I could delay for maybe another 2 turns if I keep rolling well.
Because I routed the Berserkers in the turn before. You got 2 options when you win a combat. I guess that's what you call it.
Yeah.
You call it win a combat.
Yeah, let's say win a combat.
You can change your facing, or you can move D6 inches forward. So I changed my facing and faced towards the Behemoth.
Yeah.
Which for me, that Scorpion against that Behemoth is a great matchup. Crushing strength makes a big difference.
It does. So I guess that's all I can do, really. So after all those little charges and delaying tactics, get back to my shooting. So both cannons, get rid of that scorpion. Nah, both miss. Stupid cannons.
They're good when they hit.
Yeah. When
they hit, yeah. Just trying to hit is the hard thing. Yep.
The behemoth, no combat yet, so I'm just going to pivot and shoot at the scorpion because I hate that scorpion. 7 hits, 1 wound.
Because he's a beast.
Yeah. Hero uses his boomstick. Those enslaved guardians, nothing, no damage. Ironwatch rifleman shoot at the guardians also. 8 hits, 7 wounds. Take that.
But they act as normal.
Yeah, put that in your pipe and half smoke it. Where we go, Ironclad and Skelly. So we're straight into combat now because shooting's over.
Done and dusted. Yep.
The Ironclad hits 11 times, wounds 4, still acts as normal. This is going on forever, this combat.
Yeah, the hordes do last a while.
I just can't get rid of them and keep healing them as well. And then life leech, it's a pain. Shield breakers into the Pharaoh, what do you expect? 17 hits, 11 wounds.
Plus the 3 initial damage that he had from the
previous turn from the shooting.
Yeah. But, that's meant to be nerve. You only rolled 3 for your nerve.
So he's still acting as normal.
Yeah, because he's awesome.
That's all I got. Just shooting that 2 little bits of combat, and then over to the Empire's turn.
So we move to Empire of Dust, turn 4. Once again, because I was hoping that the Husks were going to get rid of these dudes a lot earlier. They've charged the Iron Guard. The Skelly again charged the Ironclad. My Pharaoh changes facing because he's scared shitless of that big horde coming at him. And in the process, because he's got regeneration, regens 3 wounds, the Scorp charges the Behemoth. But because Ben's a clever little dickie, he made sure that I was charging his front rather than his flank. And the Revenants, because they can't fight that Behemoth properly, they did a pivot and moved around towards I think they're Iron Watch, are they? Is that what they're called? The mages move up closer so they're within range to cast spells, and I cast Heal on the Enslaved Guardians, taking 2 damage counters off. The Revenants get surged an additional 4 inches because they've already used their Casket of the Damned. And they miss the Iron Watch
by 1
inch.
By 1 inch.
Which is a shame because it would have been a charge.
It was nice.
Then we move into close combat. So the Husks hit the Iron Guard, 7 hits, 5 wounds. The Scorpion hits the Behemoth, 6 hits, 5 wounds. The Enslaved Guardians hit the Ironclad, 7 hits, 7 wounds. That's a bit better.
Yeah.
But still, out of 18 attacks, I expected to do a bit better.
Well, at least you finally routed them.
Yeah.
The
Ironclad rout, as they should.
And the Iron Guard also about time.
Yeah, the Husks, should have been 2 turns ago, but doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because he's a pansy, wouldn't charge.
Mm.
You should maybe you should have charged, because I don't hit you back in combat. Did you ever think of that?
I didn't. No. I was just afraid of them.
Anyway.
Yeah. Because there's no way that you can fail a charge, because as long as you're within double movement, you're in.
Yeah.
So I probably should have.
We'll go over that.
I think what I was thinking is if I charge him, then I can't shoot at him.
Yes, that's a valid point, yeah. Then we move on to the Behemoth, which holds on.
Hold on with 11.
But he is the Scorpion that could. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens a little later. And all my combat units, because they caused a wound, get a life leech back. We move on to Dwarf turn 5.
Alrighty, Roo. So the Behemoth charges Scorp because we like combat. It's not very good in combat at this point. But why not? First game, let's give it a go. And those breakers up the top, they're going to get rid of that Pharaoh, so they charge him again. Hero moves about, doesn't like being by himself, likes to be with his friends, so he just pops by the rifleman just to make sure that they don't rout, hopefully.
Dwarf friend.
And these bloody cannons not gonna get rid of those husks. How about we go for some juicy characters?
Yeah, because stupid me left him out in the open.
So first one misses the priest.
Yeah,
Vroom.
the one on foot
Right in front of him.
gets missed. Yep.
Second cannon hits the horse priest. 9 hits, 6 wounds. Do I take him off at that point or not yet?
No, I think he lives on.
Still about.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's hurting. So the Iron Watch shoot the enslaved guardians because I think that's the bigger threat of the two.
Oh, definitely by far.
And they hit them 9 times, wound 7, which is a pretty good outcome, I think.
Yep.
The organ gun, in range, also hit the enslaved guardians. 1 hit, 1 wound, like a boss. I think they just threw an empty can or something at them.
Yeah, it
One
seems
hit
like
is...
that. You know, I mean, the Iron Watch did far better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The organ gun's got 15 attacks.
Yeah. Just can't hit.
1 hit. The flame cannon moves a bit closer, shoots at the enslaved guardians. 10 hits, 3 wounds. Getting there. Because
Wow.
the enslaved guardians, they were out.
Yeah. I wasn't too happy about that one.
Turns out a barrage of shooting from just about everything you've got will
We'll take a unit off the board. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
I was very sad because those enslaved guardians wanted a bit of that Iron Watch that was right in front of them next turn. But anyway.
And then we've only got a couple of bits of combat. Shield breakers against Pharaoh, 4 wounds, and I rout him.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Pharaoh's gone. Poor old
As you'd
Pharaoh.
expect. And they just, once they win, they turn around, look at something else.
Well, he'd taken a fair bit of damage the turn before, so it wasn't going to take much.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get away. That was the thing. So, anyway.
Behemoth Scorpion fight. With my 23 attacks on the Behemoth, I hit him twice. But at least they wound. Scorpion Axe is normal as you'd expect. And that's the end of my turn.
So it brings it to Empire of Dust, turn 5. What happened here? Revenant's charge into the Iron Watch. This is getting close to the end of the game. Not a lot.
It looks
happens
like it,
here.
as you can see.
Yeah. The Scorp, he wants more of that Behemoth. So he charges in. The Skellies move back because they're scared shitless of that big unit that took out all my chariots and my Pharaoh. And they want no more of that unit. The Husks move forward.
I think they're going for the War Machines.
Yeah.
Why not?
The Scorpion... Oh, we moved into combat. The Scorpion hits a Behemoth. 1 hit, 1 wound, and he life leeches. The Revenants hit the Iron Watch. 7 hits, 4 wounds, 1 life leech, and both those units act as normal.
And then, just in my response on my turn 6, Shield Breakers move up, get a bit closer. Behemoth charges Scorpion. I think that fight's just going to be back and forwards, much like the Warriors did. And then that's just about it. So we go to shooting. First cannon, shoot at Husks. Misses. Second cannon, shoot at Husks. 6 wounds. Hooray. Something. Iron Watch, shoot at the Revenants. 3 hits, 2 wounds. Boo. That's poor effort from them. But Flame Cannon hits them 11 times and only wounds 3. Organ Gun, I couldn't really hit the Revenants because of the War Machine in the way, so they go for the Skeletons on the hill. 15 shots. 1 hit. 1 wound.
Your War Machine crew needed a few words, I think.
Yep. Shield Breakers have dogs though. Sick the dogs on the Skeletons. 2 hits, 1 wound.
Did as much as the War Machine. The dogs do better than the Organ Gun, or as good.
I like that little rule though.
Yeah.
Little warhounds.
Yeah, it's a nice little nifty rule.
So everyone passes their nerve as you'd expect, and in this epic fight between the Behemoth and the Scorpion, 26 attacks this time from Behemoth, 4 hits, 4 wounds, and he crushes him, makes him run. Hooray!
I think the Scorpion did his job.
Yeah,
had a
he
good
did
run.
well.
He had a good run.
And that's end of my turn. Jeez, flying through this one now.
Yeah, Empire of Dust turn 6, so not a lot happens here. The Skellies shuffle back. My army's standard bearer that pretty much has done nothing all game shuffles back as well. The Revenants charge the Iron Watch.
I forgot you actually had a bearer.
Yeah, well, he just adds inspiring.
Yeah.
I don't think in future games I'd bother with an army standard bearer. I'd just use priests probably because the ability to cast heal and surge and other bits and pieces is just far more valuable. And the priests are inspiring, so I don't really need the army standard bearer.
So Revenants charge the Iron Watch.
Yeah, the Revenants charge the Iron Watch. The Husks charge the cannon. Finally, took them all game to get across the board because of those Iron Guard. Was it Iron Guard?
Yep.
Yeah.
They did their job.
One of the priests run backwards. I don't remember which one that was.
I think the dude on foot. Because
Probably.
I think your horse guy's dead.
Yeah, it looks like that one.
The cannon must have taken him out earlier.
And the Husks hit the cannon. Oh, sorry, we're in combat. Husks hit the cannon 12 times, do 9 wounds, life for each one, and the cannon pisses off into next week. And the Revenants hit the Iron Watch, 4 hits, 2 wounds, life for each one. And the Iron Watch pass their nerve. I was kind of hoping to do a bit more damage on them, but couldn't. That brings us to game end.
Yeah, we rolled to see if there was a 7th turn. Nah,
No good.
that's it.
We'll get into a bit of a summary.
Debrief / thing.
Yeah.
So what do you think of your army?
I like the feel of it. It's similar to Tomb Kings, but I'd say more similar to...
Well, it helps that you're using the same miniatures.
I don't mean like that. I mean the
in
feel
terms of
it.
army makeup and...
Yeah. It feels very similar to 6th edition, 7th edition Tomb Kings.
Mm.
In 6th and 7th edition Warhammer Fantasy, your Tomb Kings could do the similar move to the Surge, so they could charge into combat in the magic phase.
Right.
So it has that vibe for me, and I love it. I think it's great. Surge is one of the best spells in the game, by far.
I reckon. I mean, and just sitting here as the opponent looking across the board, there was a lot on the table. I felt.
Yeah.
And they moved so fast, right across the table.
Yeah. Well,
The Surge, that's the key, Surge.
Surge is definitely the key for any undead army. It doesn't matter if it's normal undead or your Empire of Dust. If you're not casting Surge, you're not doing it right.
And the fact that you can move, pivot, and then Surge.
Yeah, and set up
at a different
flanks,
angle.
rears. It's amazing.
It almost makes your dudes nimble.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. It gives them a lot of flexibility too. Normally with undead armies, they're very clunky, slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they've got the feel and the vibe of the army correct. I like the fact that most of my figures can be used in this game. There's a few that I couldn't figure out what was what when I made my army list, so I didn't take them.
Yeah, well, it's hard for us because we don't have the rule book yet.
Yeah, we're just running off the beta rules or the free rules that are published on the Mantic website.
And there's no unit descriptions within the lists that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Just the names. So we just kind of imagine
Putting
what
2
we
and
think
2
it is.
together. Yeah. I mean, I think we've done pretty well to guess what was what. Some of them don't take too much of your imagination to figure out what they are.
Yes.
For me, favourite unit for today, or for this game, would have been the Scorpion.
Yeah, I'd probably second that.
Yeah. Enslaved Guardians would be in a close second. I learnt quite a bit, enjoyed the game. I don't think there's much more I can say about my army. What about your
They were
Dwarf army?
certainly fun to play against. Much different to Tomb Kings. I like it. As for the Dwarfs, I really enjoyed it. I like that they could move.
Yeah, it was...
There's no sit in the corner and wait for the enemy to go. I mean, it doesn't look like I moved a lot, but having those ironclad there, and then the shield breakers themselves zipping about the joint, taking out units. I mean, it was my strategy to kind of hurt you with shooting before getting in there.
Yeah, that's something I think we've both learned over this game. You do need a bit of shooting to...
you need to soften them up a little bit.
Yeah, weaken them a little bit before you hit them in combat.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest lesson I learned in this game. But anyway, keep going with your Dwarves.
But yeah, the Dwarves, just comparing them back to Fantasy, just the small increase in movement is huge. Going from 3-inch movement to 4
Yeah.
is a big thing.
It's only an inch, but
Makes a bit.
yeah.
That's what she said. Anyway.
It's not how big it is, it's what you do with it.
That's right.
That extra inch makes a big difference.
We're straying a bit too far there. Anyway.
Oh, this battle report's just gone to MA 15 plus, I think.
No. But yeah, they're quite fun. I liked the variety in infantry type. Plenty of choice. War machines don't feel overpowered. When they hit, they work. But it's a when.
Yeah.
I would have liked some sort of spell casting as dwarves, because my heroes don't really do anything apart from inspire. I mean, the warsmiths help my war machines out a little bit. I would have liked some sort of bonus other than just reroll, just to make them elite.
Yeah.
I don't know, some sort of. I liked the GW Dwarf runic system, just that customization.
Yeah.
And you can give magic items to them, but that's the same as every other army.
Yeah. All the items are sort of like generic.
Yeah.
Anyone and everyone can have them, sort of thing. Yeah.
But how do you make a warsmith give your war machine something that's not copying another company? And without going overboard either?
Yeah. I think this game's got it on
Yeah.
on T as far as balance goes. So far out of the games we've played, because we've played a few more games and
Since?
just this
Yeah.
one.
But yeah, if
I don't know
if
how
I
you
had some
do
sort
that.
of magic, it would be like runic magic or something, some sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. What would you think they need? What sort of magic? Or would you cast the normal spells? Maybe they need like Bane Chant.
Bane Chant, Wind Blast would be nice.
Yeah.
Being able to push things back or
Yeah.
move things around. But then you need. Yeah, because if you have Wind Blast, with dwarves as they are, you can't really zip about the sides, flanks, or
Because
rears.
they're still a bit too slow to do.
Yeah, and they don't have like flying mounts or anything.
Yeah.
So you just be pushing dudes back, which would help and might be a bit themey.
Yeah, but that sort of pushes you into that. I'm going to castle in the corner.
It does, yeah. That's a good point. Maybe Bane Chant.
Bane Chant's good because it gives you, I think it's piercing to your shooting units and crushing strength to your hand units. So that would be a good one. I think heal would be okay.
Heal would be fantastic, but it doesn't fit.
I don't know.
But I just feel like I'm missing out on something when you don't have magic.
Yeah, maybe they should have something like the what's it called, Anvil of Doom?
Yeah.
It casts lightning bolt or something.
Yeah.
Something similar to
A
that.
war machine that does different.
Yeah, a magical attack rather than a
Yeah.
shooting attack.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. I think that would work.
And I'm looking forward. I'm going to get some of those Brock Riders. Because Badger Cav sound awesome.
Well, that might be your fast element to your army.
Might get a couple of units of them, a couple of heroes on Badgers if I can.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of choice there. And Earth Elementals, I get Elementals as well that I could throw in there too.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a lot to play around with.
But just going from what I had from GW, as you can see, just a lot of dwarves, just not much variety that I had. Using miners, warriors, riflemen. I think I did okay. It looks like a bland Kings of War dwarf list, but I'm glad that there's a lot of variety in there for me to mix it up in the future.
Yeah. Because you were saying you played the old version. Yeah. So there's plenty more units to add, which is great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, as far as the game goes,
I enjoyed it.
I loved it.
Mm.
There's so far in the games we've played, other than this one, no real rules arguments.
No.
Everything's sort of like, I'd say 95% clear.
Yep.
I mean, there's
If
some.
we weren't sure, we just have a look at the rulebook. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's clearly states that's what you
Yeah.
can or can't do.
Yep. Other than that, like I've asked a couple of questions on the Mantic forums, and everyone's quite happy to help you out. So,
Good community there.
yeah. The game itself, very easy to learn. Like we picked this up.
It helps that we're coming off Fantasy, which is a tome of a rulebook,
Yeah.
coming down to something that's a lot more clear, so we get movement, shooting, magic.
But I
it's
think
a lot more simplified in those terms when you're comparing it. Magic 4-up, that works. Instead of you have pages to go through to confer with and double check.
Yeah.
It's easier for us to pick up.
It's not find your own adventure like the fantasy rulebook.
No, it isn't.
I think overall, great game. If you're looking for something outside of Warhammer Fantasy now that 8th edition
no longer supported.
Is no longer supported, I'd highly recommend you give it a go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. More people that play it, the better.
Yeah. We're planning on doing a lot more content for Kings of War.
Yeah, I've already got... I'm scouting out in a Abyssal Dwarf army. And now thinking about the herd, because I've got Bensome figures that need some loving.
Yeah. And if you've got a huge collection like the two of us, a lot of your stuff will transfer over quite well into this game system, and Mantic aren't against it. They just want you to pick up the game and give it a go. And for all of, I think it's £25, which is about $50 from memory.
I don't know, have to look. Maybe a bit more than that.
I think it's about around $50. That's your buy-in for the rulebook. And even if you don't want to buy the rulebook, you can try the free rules.
Yeah, just download the free rules. And that's what we were running.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the game, just on free rules.
Yeah.
So curious to see what the second ed adds to it. But as it is, from what we played, so far so good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I think we'll leave it at that one. And
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.